Shalom, welcome to Challenging Torah. I'm happy to be back. Our challenge this week is really the challenge of our time. Violence, women's rights, issues of retirement. It's all right here in today's Torah portion, Pinchas. The Torah portion of Pinchas begins really at the end of last week's Torah portion. Balak, the king, has asked Bilam, the prophet, to curse the Jews, and he can't do it. God opens his mouth 3 times, he blesses the Jews as they march their way through Moab. And so the only weapon left is sex. So the Moabite women, quote, invite the men into their tents, and there's a small worship of the goddess and Baal Peor before any hanky-panky. And turns out that hordes do it. And Moses is furious, and God is furious, and people are impaled as an example, and there's a sense of violence in the camp. And it is this atmosphere that Pinchas, who is the grandson of Aaron, Pinchas, comes out and sees that an Israelite man has taken a Moabite woman, who's a princess, actually, brought her to the altar, and is basically fornicating on the altar with her. He picks up a spear and smashes it through her belly or below. And the plague, which is broken out against those who are sexually deviating, is stopped. Pinchas is a hero. And he is considered a zealot, and a zealot for God, and given praise all throughout Jewish literature. As the Chatam Sofer says, he ran with zeal to do what is right, as the others ran to do what was wrong. But it doesn't always work that way. And what is the result of this zealotry? I see zealotry. I see zealotry today, both here and in Israel, unbridled. And so right now, we've been having these problems of people on the West Bank shooting someone because they thought that it was a knife, even though it wasn't. It's that murky gray edge. And I saw zealots loose at the wall. I went with Rosh Chodesh once again this summer, and people shouting obscenities and spitting at people, and these are zealots. They are not mainstream, but they are able to spew hateful speech. That is what created the situation that brought the death of Rabin. And we see it here in the United States as well. So Pinchas is rewarded with a Brit Shalom, a covenant of peace, and he becomes the high priest. He is given that honor. A reward for his zealotry? Or is that really a way to contain him? The high priest's job was not a vigilante job. It was to put out ritual sacrifice properly and be a connection to God. And I always think it kind of on a golden thread ties Pinchas back and takes that energy and funnels it in a proper manner. So that's the story of Pinchas. Then in this Torah portion, we've got a woman's issue. The daughters of Salafchad, there are 5, come to Moses and say, our father died, and there are no brothers, and the rights of inheritance are going to go to strangers. We're girls. Shouldn't we inherit? And Moses brings the question to God, and God says, the daughters of Salafchad speak right. You shall surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brothers, and you shall cause the inheritance to pass to them. Wow, this is 3,500 years ago. And women are being given the right to inherit land, if there's no brother, but still. Now, 2 portions from now, they're going to backtrack. What really happened, it's like the stone bouncing off the glass ceiling. And as they need to marry within the tribe so that it doesn't go further, and it's only for 1 generation. But the issue is there from day one. What are the rights of women? To inherit land, to be independent, to have a voice. We hear this deep in our basic Torah portion of 3,500 years ago. And then, for me personally touching, we see the moment where Moses is told, your retirement, death is actually happening for you. You'll be gathered to your kin. God says, look over this mountain from Abarim, see the promised land, but no, remember the thing with the rock and you hit it? You're not going in. It isn't appropriate for Moses to take it to the next stage. And Moses' first worry is, let the Lord God of all spirits and all flesh set a man over the congregation, so that they are not left as a sheep without a shepherd. I am facing retirement in the next year, and we are deep in a rabbi search study, and it's important to me that the right shepherd come forward and continue to be part of this amazing congregation. All these themes are in today's Torah portion. And that's why Torah lives for the ages. Because it is, at its core, relevant to every generation to generation. Shabbat Shalom.